So maybe start out with the first one. What was your take on transitioning from live to virtual?
Well, I was terrified, to be honest with you. I'm a real animated, on my feet type of instructor. So that was very difficult for me, and I don't like change. But I kind of had to. This class, the last one that I taught, had originally been scheduled in March. So obviously that didn't happen with COVID. And in July, they said that we could go back to teaching again here in Louisville. So I taught the two classes live, but I had a lot of individuals that didn't want to show up for that. They were like still a little, skeptical of everything because of the virus. So I was asked, can you do this as a Zoom meeting? I was like, well, yes, I can. And I had no idea what I was doing, and it was kind of terrifying. But once I did, it worked pretty well. I set it up. You guys set me up with the Zoom program, and it went well. There was just, there was only three of them this first time. I have to admit, it was just those couple that didn't want to show up. And it was great. They were there. And of course, none of them had their cameras on. And I was like, well, I can't do this. I'm going to be talking to a blank screen. So I just kind of adjusted with them. I was like, okay, guys, not fair. If I have to have my video on, you have to have yours on. And they all were like, oh, and the one woman said, I look horrible. I said, well, so do I, honey. It's been a long day. I said, just do it from here up so I can see your eyes. And everybody kind of laughed. And I just, I kind of made them, shamed them into it, if you will, turning on the video, which helped because I could look at their faces, right? And then, I just started directly asking them questions, just like, all of us as instructors have had some tougher classes where everybody is sat, like a lump on a log, and you ask a question or you try to crack a joke and it falls flat. You're like, well, alrighty then. So I had the same thing with them. It was really kind of reserved. And so, of course, I had their names. So I started picking on them by name. And then they kind of have to answer you. And once you get one person talking like normal, the rest of the class will kind of relax and join in. And I was fortunate. Not one of them stood up. Well, one stood up and let the dog out once, but other than that, nobody left. They were engaged. They were on time. They were on time for the second class, which for me was very telling. I didn't have an actual, you know, Zoom version of the class, so I had them come by the office and pick up their materials because, like I said, this was really very last minute and kind of fly by night, if you will. And they came and picked up their books, and they could follow along with me in the books. And I taught the class just like I normally would. I went through it. It did go faster. I think that was because, I don't know, maybe amount of people for starters. It was such a small amount. Less questions at first. I didn't have my handouts, my whiteboard, things like that that I normally use to expound upon things. So the first session went faster. The second session, I took the whole 3 hours, believe it or not, right there in front of the screen. And we took a brief break. They came right back. They were engaged. I was pretty fortunate. It was good. And all three are coming in for appointments. So
Yes.
I can't beat that with a stick.